From Tucson, Arizona, and the Tucson Community Center, this is the U.S. Hot Rod Association Mud Bog Drag Racing Spectacular and Battle of the Monster Trucks. Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Huffman. With me to call the action tonight, Margot King. And I guess, Margot, the object in mud bog drag racing is to get through the mud as fast as possible.
Well, it sounds easy, but you've got to keep those high-performance engines tuned and your vehicle set up properly for the track.
And the monster trucks tonight, the competition has been decimated lately by the Virginia Beach Beast. Let's see what he can do tonight. We'll be right back with all the action from the Tucson Community Center. Welcome back to the U.S. Hot Rod Association Mud Bog Spectacular and Battle of the Monster Trucks. Brought to you in part by Dick's C-Pec Tires. You can't win without them. And this is the cut class competition. Tonight determines who this year's world champions will be. And in third place, this racing team, the Mud Shark, co-owned by Mike Johns and tonight's driver, Mike Erderly. Now, in first place is Mike Fair of Mishawaka, Indiana, and just a few points behind is Tom Martin of Portage, Indiana. But this machine is awesome. It's a 64 fiberglass Corvette running a 454 Chevy with 1,200 horsepower. Margot, this is a monster.
And keeping that 1,200 horsepower on the ground is his main objective tonight. And with that adjustable airbag suspension he uses, I think that's really made it tough for him.
Here he goes. Mike Erderly, and look out. He locks it up and makes it through. Whoa. Again, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. And the crowd loves it.
But he really kept it driving in the mud that time.
Yep. He's a real serious competitor. Let's take a look in slow motion. And the clocking 2.17 seconds for the Mud Shark. Not too bad, Margot, at all.
Planed up, got a really good drive, and he kept it under control.
So the Mud Shark, first out, 2.17 seconds. This is back in black. Matt Acker of Denver, Colorado. He's 24 years old. It's a 74 Ford Bronco, 460 Ford engine, 2,400 pounds.
And would you believe he started running this automobile as a stock Bronco?
And he gets through it, bouncing and rocking and rolling through that real deep mud pit. Let's check it in slow motion. Back in black, 2.59 seconds. Not quite as fast as the Mud Shark. All right, coming up now, this is the Nitro Express, one of the top drivers in the business, Clay Langley. He's currently 6th place in the overall standings, and it's anybody's race for the top spot because all three of the main contenders are running here tonight. I like this machine, Margot.
It is definitely unique, and you can bet that Clay has spent many hours in his garage making it run.
Yep. Its sponsor is Iski Racing Cams. It's a brand new 407 Chevy engine, Top Gun nitrous system, a 32 Austin Roadster. This is the Nitro Express, and the crowd leads forward in their seats. Watches it, looks, well, not too good. Just didn't get that strong a drive off the line, Margot.
The motor tacks up, it runs really strong, but he is pulling 2,600 pounds through the mud.
There's somebody who's not pulling 2,600 pounds. Let's check out the time. 3.14 seconds for the Nitro Express. Pretty slow for Clay.
I'm afraid he's watched the sport advance around him, and he's going to have to get himself with a new chassis, I think.
Well, there you go with the Nitro Express. This is an interesting machine. This is Stam Sturgis, and it's a Ford pickup. It's called Half Pint, a real sanitary Ford pickup, and the time to beat is 2.17 seconds. The Half Pint rocks through there, looking good, locks up all four wheels, and goes all the way through the tracks. Again, 2.17 seconds he's got to beat. If the Mud Shark could hold that lead, he may be the new world champion. Let's see what happened. Here's a slow motion run for the Half Pint, and the clocking 2.68 seconds for the Half Pint. Not quite fast enough.
If you've liked it so far, don't go away. We'll be right back with more Cut Tire competition.
Watch out. The wildest show on wheels is about to roar into your living room. It's the ultimate home video. Blood, sweat, and gears. Bigfoot takes on the toughest full-blown competition ever before facing his greatest test when Sergeant Slaughter and his battle battalion challenge Bigfoot to an all-out tug of war. So if you want gear jamming, car crushing, down and dirty action, get your credit card ready to order your video now. Call 1-800-351-1500. Blood, sweat, and gears.
Welcome back to Tucson, Arizona. I'm Larry Huffman. Let's go to Margot King on the floor with Clay Langley of the Nitro Express.
with the help of a new sponsor, Iski Cabs, Clay Langley was able to make it across the pits in good style. Clay, we're about to see your run here. Are you going to be able to tell us about it?
Well, I'll try. Okay, one thing that I started off, I didn't hold my brake long enough to build the stall converter up, and I was having a lot of steering problem there for some reason. I think I let just a little bit too much air out of the front, and it was just all over the place.
Well, he does get excited. This is the Mud Special, Perry and Julie Hicks of Independence, Missouri. It's driven by Perry tonight, a 74 Jeep CJ5 with a 440 Chrysler. He runs aviation gas and nitrous oxide. And 900 horsepower. Here's the run. He's got to be 217, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he's going to make it through.
He really never even got his motor tacked up and got off the starting pad there, Larry.
No, he sure didn't. A tough break, but he is stuck in that gooey, thick, really, really deep mud. And that's a tough break for the Mud Special. The time to beat, again, is 2:17, the Mud Shark. Let's go to Margot on the floor with Matt Acker of Back in Black.
The racers work on their cars all week long, but when the green flag drops, a lot of times when you hit that accelerator, the motor just doesn't respond. And that's sort of what happened to you this week, Matt.
Yeah, the nitrous leaned out on me a little bit tonight.
And you're going to have an opportunity to critique this run. What happened?
Well, it started out real strong, and right about here, the nitrous started leaning out, and you can see it firing out the tailpipes.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of times tuning has to be done on the racetrack, and Matt will have to get ready for next week.
Okay, back in the action. This is Locomotion. Larry Jarrett of Perry, Oklahoma. This is a custom-built funny car. And if you go back to the old sprint car races, you're going to feel right at home. Look at this thing. It's running a 468 Chevy big block engine. It's blown and puts out over 1,000 horsepower. Now, Jarrett has 60 acres in Perry, Oklahoma, includes a mud bog and motocross track right in his own backyard. Here we go. And he launches. Looks good. Through the traps and locks it up. The Locomotion, a good run. Spewed dirt all the way up in the stands. Let's take a look in slow motion. Remember now, 2:17 he's got to beat. No, 2:37 for the Locomotion machine.
Really an impressive run for a man who is new to the sport and basically built this car completely with his own ideas.
Well, coming up, ladies and gentlemen, the top two drivers. The enforcer, Mike Fair of Mishawaka, Indiana. Now, the third-place Mud Shark has taken the top spot so far tonight, and if the enforcer's going to pull out on top for the World Championship, he's got to come in first or second in this race. And if anybody can do it, it is Mike Fair. It's an 88 Jeep, but unlike you've never seen before. 468 Chevy, 1,400 horsepower. Now, if you watched our shows before, you've seen Mike and the Great White Hope, and here's the start. And a good run. I think we might have a new leader and possibly a new world champion. 2:17 he's got to beat. Let's take a look in slow motion. The enforcer, 2:20, 3/100ths of a second off. Margot, that's awfully close.
Oh, just one of those breaks. You just never know how to get those few hundredths of a second out of your run.
That gives him second place. And now it is all up to this man. This guy is the only one who can stop the Mud Shark. This is Tom Martin, the Mud Patrol of Portage, Indiana. A 32 Ford Coupe funny car with a 541 Chevy big block engine. Brand new sponsors for Tom, Vans Enough Auto Parts and Grieve Trailer Manufacturing. Now, if he can pull out a first place tonight, he'll move into the top spot on the point series. His parents, John and Norma, will share the spotlight with him because they're his pit crew and travel with him every show. Here we go. Let's take a look at it. He revs it up. He's waiting. Tom Martin of Portage, Indiana. This guy is good. They don't come any better. Again, he's got to beat 2.17 seconds, rocketing through the mud. Whoa, Nelly! Margot King, he flat got it on.
What an incredible run. I think that's like the best I've ever seen him do.
Unbelievable. He knows it. He's happy. Tom Martin. 2:03. Incredible for Martin. Look at this guy. He is happy. The Mud Patrol, let's take a look back in slow motion. Now watch it. He does everything right. 2.03 seconds. Unbelievable. Let's go down to Margot King on the floor with Tom Martin of the Mud Patrol.
Tom Martin and Mud Patrol have been a dominant force on the mud racing circuit. And Tom, tonight you took home the gold, and you're going to get an opportunity to critique your performance. But overall, what'd you think about it?
It was one of my best runs ever.
All right, well, let's take a look at it right here.
Well, we launched it off. Right there, I hit second. And right as I crested the hill, third gear, and the front wheels came up. And then I locked the brakes up, and it was all over.
And luckily, we did it in slow motion, so you had a time to talk about it.
That's for sure. It was quick.
All right, a quick run, that's what it takes to win them here in Tucson.
So let's take a look at the results in this very competitive cut class. The Mud Patrol comes through the last run of the night, 2.03 seconds. Mud Shark second, 2:17. He was the first car out. The Enforcer third with 2:20. Look at how close they were. Locomotion fourth with 2:37. And in fifth spot, Back in Black with 2:59. Coming up, you've never seen anything like this. The Funny Car Tug of War. Don't go away. Welcome back to the U.S. Hot Rod Association Funny Car Tug of War. I'm Larry Huffman, and Margot King's down on the floor.
There's hooking up the wheel-standing funny cars right this very moment. They've got lights in each cockpit. When Jack hits his light, Toby will hit his light. When both lights go on, they'll fire up at the same time, and the object is to pull the opposing car across the cone line. And whoever gets to that line first wins. Of course, he is dragging a complete dragster behind him at the same time.
Jack is Jack Urbantrod in the Hemi Under Glass, an 86 Dodge Daytona. Margot talked to Jack earlier, who told us how Funny Car Tug of Wars began.
This was dreamed up at the drag strip last September. The fella that owned the drag strip also does winter shows inside. And he says, what can we do with your car so I can use it in the wintertime? I says, I don't know. You think of it and I'll do it. He walked away from the trailer, made about 10 steps, come back and says, how about a tug of war? I said, no problem, having no idea how we were going to do this because it takes two cars. He says, well, I know this young kid that we can talk into anything. I says, you talk him into it and I'll do it.
Now, what did it involve to set this car up to take this kind of abuse?
It was quite hard to do. We had to change the complete engine combination, the rear end, the braking system on the car, the whole back suspension setup. So it was quite involved.
Does it put your car through a lot of abuse to put it through a tug of war?
Like our motors normally will run with maintenance a full season. You know, that's checking bearings and stuff. But with these things, we'll go through motors 10 to 1 what we do on drag racing.
Okay, and Jack's going up against Toby Battle, the Night Raider out of Butler, Ohio. It's an 86 Camaro. This kid is young, and he is hungry, and he is tough. Let's see what he does. There he is, Toby Battle. Earlier, Margot talked to him.
But what's going to make the difference? Why is your car going to blow his away?
Well, I think I've got a little more power than he does, and I was out there looking at the track, and I'm hoping I have the chassis set up right to get the power down to the track.
Well, if Toby here could get the power to the track, we're going to have a good tug of war on our hands.
Thank you, Margot. Let's talk about that track. The one car must pull the other car 25 feet. Now, these are 1,500 horsepower, supercharged, injected with methanol funny cars. Ground-shaking power. It's about a 9 on the Richter scale here in Tucson. You are feeling the power. And we are starting. Here we go, underway. Toby Battle against Jack Urbantrod, and look at the smoke come up. Boy, the EPA sees that. We got a smog alert. Pulling each other back and forth. 3,000 horsepower. Unbelievable. Look at this. And now Jack's starting to get the edge, and there he goes. The noise is unbelievable. The checkered flag comes out, and the winner is Jack Urbantrod. Look at this kid. He's happy about that. He can't believe it. So the old man comes back and wins this funny car tug of war. Look at that beautiful funny car machine, 1,500 horsepower. He comes over to Toby and says, hey, nice run, kid. There's a fan who comes prepared for the loud noise. Now, this is a replay, and this is from the point that Toby lost it. Watch closely. There's Toby, and there he goes, being hauled off. Nope, he's coming back, and there is Jack Urbantrod pulling him away. And that's it for Toby Battle. in the Night Raider. We'll be back for the tractor tire class, so don't go away from the Tucson Community Center. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tucson Community Center in Tucson, Arizona, and the U.S. Hot Rod Association over 44-inch tractor tire class coming up now. Now, these are different. The tractor tires are rice and cane tires, and an interesting history in to these, Margot.
All I can say is when God was handing out fiberglass, these trucks were behind the barn door. We're talking the hardcore roots from the old swamp buggy racing days. They use actual cane or cultivation type tires. They don't try to go over the mud, although the horsepower has increased, so nowadays they almost do pull that off. The tires are large so they can actually dig at the bottom of the mud pit to get dry.
Yeah, they go through it instead of going on top of the mud. They got a lot of horsepower, but they also got a lot of weight, Margot.
We're talking an average of 6,000 pounds each truck, so no matter how much horsepower they're putting out, they've got to counteract a lot of weight.
This is Daddy's Toy. Ken Goodwin, 26 years old, out of Phoenix. It's an 84 Chevy step-side, 1,500 horsepower, but 5,200 pounds. An 871 blower on this. Let's look at it. Daddy's Toy. Whoa-ho-ho, Nelly. He slams on the binders there and almost goes on his nose. Let's check the clock on Daddy's Toy. We'll look back in slow motion. Big crowd here in Tucson. They love mud bogs and funny cars and everything else. Here we go. Looking back at Daddy's Toy. 3:05 seconds. 3.05 seconds. It's all the way through and almost goes, as we said, on his nose. This is the Orange Blossom Specialty. Ken Seaburns, 52 years old, a 74 Chevy, 427 Chevy engine. Runs Harvest King tires. This guy races 30 weeks a year.
And this truck weighs 7,200 pounds.
That is an awful lot of weight to get through here, I'm telling you. Orange Blossom Specialty.
And you can see how much of the body they cut away, and they still weigh that much.
Yeah, that's incredible. They are heavy. And there's some happy people here tonight in Tucson. They love the mud boggers. Look back at the Orange Blossom Specialty. The time, 3.45 seconds. 0.4 of a second slower than Daddy's Toy. This is the Touch of Classic. Bill Highscott, 43 years old. He owes Bill's Road Service. Here's an old one, a 57 Chevy, 464 Chevy engine, 7,200 pounds. The original body. He's running Goodyear tires. Uh-oh, he's got a problem, Margaret. He's not going to be able to make it through.
Yeah, not exactly what I call a launch, but look at that smoke.
Smoke coming out from the... Oh, look out! And it's a meltdown. He just fried an engine. I think he took a couple of Viet Cong foxholes with him when he went. Touch of Classic, 67 feet 3 inches. And one engine to go that far.
Yeah, he had something fighting his forward motion right from the beginning, Larry.
This is Mud Fighter, Augustin Marquis, and he has got to beat 3:05. Mud Fighter. Now, when he drops the flag, the driver has the option of starting whenever he wants to. He doesn't have to start on the drop of the flag.
Looks like a California vehicle with like a, a pickup with no top.
Yep. Well, let's see what he does. 3:55, 3.55 seconds for the Mud Fighter. Trying to stay on top of the mud, but just can't quite do it.
Some beautiful wheels, though.
Yep. And there's a beautiful set of beautiful wheels, too. This is Breathless. This is Brad White. He's 22 years old. It's a Ford 51 Ford F100. One of the few Fords here tonight. A 427 Ford engine. Putting out weighing at 5,800 pounds, almost 3 tons.
With only 500 horsepower, you got to wonder exactly what he can do through this pit.
Yeah, the odds are not with him. Rice and cane tires. It's 10 feet tall and 8 feet wide. Here's a run. Breathless. Well, he puts the power to the ground, Margo. He got through that without any problem.
A lot of times what's on, like on the drawing board, it shouldn't work, but in reality, it does.
Yep. Let's take a look back. And 3 seconds flat, and that's the fastest time of the night. For this particular class, 3 seconds flat. Okay, Titanic's Revenge. I'm not going to comment on that. I can't figure it out. Jim and Kathy Whining. 38 years old is Jim from Tucson. It's a 76 Ford F-250, 526 Ford engine, 5,700 pounds, Super Spade Firestone tires. Let's see what he can do. Beautiful machine.
And maybe his revenge is that he won't sink.
He didn't sink. He came through that awfully fast. I think we may have a new fast time of the night. Well, they love it here in Tucson. They love the mudboggers. Take a look back in just a moment at Titanic's Revenge. Here it is. Gets up and, oh, 2.74 seconds. That's mighty fast, Margot King. Coming up now, this is the King Cobra. Beautiful machine.
But really small tires for this class, it looks like. But they only have to be 44 inches tall, and anything bigger goes.
Time to beat is 2.74 seconds. Got a beautiful airbrushed Cobra in the door. Let's see if we can get a look at it. There it is. No, he's getting... No. Remember the... Well, he makes it through, but certainly no record. Time to beat 2.74 seconds. I think we're safe in saying he didn't do that. Slow motion, 6.29 seconds. A mighty deep mud pit, Margot.
And getting sloppier and deeper as it goes.
I think I just saw a German soldier stick his head out from there. Okay, this is the instigator, Jim Tappan, the driver. The time to beat, 2.74 seconds.
And the most beautiful paint job we've seen tonight, and he's started off good, but turned into a pretty slow run after that.
The wheel well's completely cut out to take some of the weight down. Look at that. The instigator makes it through, but certainly not a very fast time. Jim Tappan, the driver, makes his way out of there. Let's take a look back in slow motion at the run of the instigator. Here it is in slow motion. 4.58 seconds. Just starts slowing down there about 3/4 of the way through, Margot.
With all that weight, it's really hard for these guys to really gauge what they've got to do on these runs.
So Titanic's Revenge takes it, 2.74. Breathless right behind him. Daddy's Toy, Orange Blossom, and Mud Fighter. And that's the run on the tractor tire class. You know, we've been running some stock class cars earlier. These are right off the street. The idea is to take the truck you drive to work and go through the bog. We're going to take a look back at him. This is Dennis Hahn. Paycheck to paycheck is how he races. 68 Ford Bronco, 302 Ford engine with monster mudder tires. He finished in 4th place. This is a look back at the machine, paycheck to paycheck.
And this was his 2nd race ever here in Tucson. And his 1968 Ford Bronco may never be the same.
I wouldn't call it a particularly exciting class, but they love it here. And remember, just the nose has to cross the finish line for it to be a complete run.
This is where just getting through the pit really counts.
I think we don't need a stopwatch for this. We need a sundial. Well, he's paycheck to paycheck. Look at that mud.
But the crowd is very warm and receptive. They can really relate to his predicament.
Well, you got to remember that these are local drivers. These are guys who drive these to work. Like this is Rick Miller in the Not Just Ford show. And he scored 3rd place. It's a 78 Ford F-250.
It is Rick Miller from Tucson.
Now, Rick is a skier. He's a water skier, and he says he's pretty good. And we have a clip that we have shot of him attempting to ski through the mud. We're going to show it a little bit later.
That's worth waiting for.
Yeah, I got to see that to believe it. Not Just Ford show.
You'll notice
that's the name of the machine. Notice they've got license plates on them. Sorry.
He just put it in his low gears and just cruised through.
There's his water skis in the back. This is Just Ford fun. Dan F., he's 32 years old, and he scored in 2nd place earlier. This is filmed earlier. 77 Ford F-150, 460 Ford engine, running 48-inch jumbo monster mudders, and it's valued at about $8,000.
And he's been doing this to his truck for 2 years.
I wonder if we could take a rent-a-car, Margot, and run it out through the mud.
Hey, that would be easier on the rent-a-cars than what I've seen some people do to them.
That's true. Just Ford fun.
Never rent your rent-a-car to aspiring stunt drivers.
That's right. Again, a slow run, but he's got to go all the way through, and he'll spend about a week at the quarter car wash trying to get the mud out of this thing. Dan F., he scored, finished in 2nd place.
John Flowers with Mama's Worry.
Okay, this is Mama's Worry, and the driver is John Flowers.
Time to beat is 16
Again, this is a look back at the stock class cars. These are cars that these guys drive to work every day.
And it looks like a sea. The waves are rolling in that pit right now, Larry.
Yeah, it really does. Look how deep it is.
Hey, makes it all the way through.
Got to remember, there's no comparison to the monster truck, the big machines. They run through here in 2.74 seconds. Oh, Mama's worried. No worry anymore. He made it all the way through.
But you got to remember, that's where a lot of them started.
Okay, now here it is. This is Rick Miller of Tucson. He is going to try to ski across here. Look at this. Look, at some people will do for their moment of glory. This guy's a candidate for the Gong Show. And there he goes, down in flames. What can I tell you? All right, coming up, what you've been waiting for, the Battle of the Monster Trucks. Don't you dare go away.
Hold it, ho, ho, ho. So you're going to finally meet Cindy, huh? Tonight. Good. So first impressions are very important. I think. Okay. Now, imagine. Lights are low, the music's soft. Knock the door opens up. Somebody's out there doing this.
What is this? She's got dandruff?
No, you have dandruff.
No.
Yes, you do.
I shampoo every day.
You could shampoo your brains out with regular shampoo. Wouldn't matter.
Your brains out?
Yeah, well, so use that.
Head and Shoulders?
Works for me, my friend.
But you don't have dandruff.
Exactamundo.
Head and Shoulders, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Some guys, they have it all. Some guys are just too big. Some guys, they have a fall. Some guys get left out in the rain.
Don't wait for something good to happen. Make it happen with the clean, masculine scent of English leather cologne.
Some guys have what others want. Some guys have it all.
English leather. Some guys have it all.
If you're looking for a rotor or a windshield wiper motor, yeah, you'll find it at CarQuest.
No matter what you drive, you'll get unbeatable performance with Champion spark plugs. Champion gets your engine started right away and running its best year-round. So for sure starts and protection, be sure to go with Champion.
Take it from Roy Clark and the repairmen. If it's a really tough part, then don't lose heart. Yeah, you'll find it at CarQuest.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tucson Community Center for the Battle of the Monster Trucks. Brought to you in part by Dick CPEC Tires. You can't win without them. Sanctioned and sponsored by the United States Hot Rod Association. I'm Larry Huffman, along with Margot King. And now, something a little bit different, Margot. Side-by-side elimination round monster truck drag racing exhibition.
And this particular event really doesn't show us what these trucks can do, but it will give us a display of some of their horsepower.
You know, the tanks and monster trucks have been battling each other over who can take the straightaways. Well, this exhibition has been put together to see who can come out on top. And this is the modern-day outlaw, Buster Guffey.
That's the Crimson Krusher.
Check that. That's the Crimson Krusher.
That's okay, Larry. It's been a long night.
It has been
You're
a long night, no
forgiven.
question about it. The Crimson Krusher, Dale Hancock, 29 years old, of Evansville, Indiana. It's an 88 Fleetside Ford long bed going up against the modern-day outlaw, an 86 Chevy S10 with a 454 Chevy big block. Ford versus Chevy. Crimson Krusher, the Ford, the red one, it looks like it made it through a little bit faster.
Crimson Krusher is the
Yep.
winner.
The Crimson Krusher takes home the bacon.
Now, hard to believe that he used to be a mud bogger, huh? Got tired of washing off the mud, so, hey, he thought he built $50,000 trucks.
That's one of the only monster trucks I've seen with 8 wheels. Does that give him any kind of an edge, Margo?
He's not sure, but he figures it looks good.
The boss is going to be taking over
5:01 seconds for the Crimson Krusher.
the Virginia Beach meets on the far side of the arena.
No problems at all, just a straight line drag race, and he edges out the modern-day outlaw.
And weighs in at 36,000.
But this is going to be interesting. The AM/PM boss against
It's also powered
the Virginia
by
Beach Beast. There's a look at the Crimson Krusher. And a look at those tires. This is the AM/PM boss, Jim Reese, the driver. He's out of Santa Barbara, California. 750 horsepower, 468 Chevy big block engine, supercharged. And this is one of your favorites, Margo, the Virginia Beach Beast.
He travels over the entire country with this truck, which is actually the first monster tank truck.
Mike Katz, 25 years old. The machine is owned by William Towns. Let's see who can win on the straightaway. Now, there's no turning, and that's where usually the tanks have a little bit of advantage.
Technically, the Virginia Beach Beast should be at a disadvantage on this run.
Looks like he is, and the AM/PM boss takes it. No problem at all.
of the boss.
Let's take a look back at this in slow motion and see exactly what happened. He got off the line a little bit faster. Let's look back. There's the AMPM boss. 3.29 seconds.
Let's give a nice round of applause.
Now, Jim Reese, he is not only the driver of this truck, but he builds monster trucks for a living.
The Crimson Krusher coming back into the building right now.
So the AMPM boss, Jim Reese, the driver, and this truck had the best time in the preliminaries. You've probably seen it in all the auto magazines. It's been in People magazine, even the National Enquirer, and Margot King's not even been in that. The reason being this truck is usually driven by owner-driver Meredith Dalton. Now, Meredith is one of the few and definitely the most popular female monster truck driver on the circuit. But Jim Reese driving tonight, and the Crimson Krusher going up against, and Dale and his wife Brenda on the road almost every day of the year with not one but two monster trucks. And Brenda told us earlier they are crazy for putting so much into these trucks. It is Ford versus Chevy.
How about the Chevrolet? All right, let's watch him now. Here we
All right,
go.
we're going up against now the AMPM boss in the far lane, and this is a Crimson Krusher, and the Crimson Krusher, they are wheel to wheel, and it looks to me like the AMPM boss takes it.
The Chevrolet!
Yep. The boss comes through with 4:02 seconds.
He nearly squeaked him out. He beat it by just about 2 feet. I'll tell you what.
So, a good run for the AMPM boss. No problems at all.
Right, the Crimson Krusher had more rubber to the ground, but the AMPM boss had a little less weight for that horsepower to drive down the track.
We'll go next to the car crushing competition, and that's what a lot of people in Tucson have come out to see here tonight.
That we do have a videotape available.
And we're going to see him go over those cars, and then we'll see the Virginia Beach Beast come out, and I'm telling you, if you've never seen this, it's going to blow you away. Okay, this is the Outlaw. A modern-day Outlaw 86 Chevy S10 454 Chevy engine. The lightest monster truck, 10,900 pounds. Buster Guffey doing the driving. That's a great name for an Outlaw.
This truck is actually wider than it is tall. 12 foot 3 inches wide, 10 foot 7 inches tall.
Well, he's having some trouble getting over those cars. A modern-day Outlaw. He's got to go all the way over the cars, and he is being timed, remember. So the run for the modern-day Outlaw, we'll take a look back at it in slow motion momentarily. He swings all the way around and slams on the binders. Still got to make his way around over the other set of cars. Here he comes. Check that around to the end, comes up here to the cars once again. The modern-day Outlaw coming up and over him again. A real slow run and almost going over on his left side, Margot.
And they would say he had the disadvantage because he was the first truck over the cars.
Good point.
And when he's meeting the cars that haven't been crushed yet, it throws his front end farther up in the air, makes his run more difficult to navigate.
Let me tell you, though, after the tank's been over him, they're as flat as a McDonald's pancake. I'm not kidding. The modern-day Outlaw. Let's look back in slow motion. The clocking, 52.67 seconds. Look at that, Margot, almost going over.
Trying to control 10,000 pounds can be no easy job.
No question about it, especially when you're that far up in the air. So the modern-day Outlaw, 52.67 seconds. And now the AMPM boss. Now this Chevy blew the competition away in the exhibition runs. Let's see what Jim Reese can do now in the showdown.
Geometrically perfect. He's 12 feet tall and 12 feet wide.
Running an art car transmission. He not only drives, but he also builds monster trucks for Golden State Promotions. And here we go. AMPM boss, see what he does. Again, you're absolutely right, Margot. The cars have been flattened somewhat, so it's a little bit easier for him to get over.
And I think you're seeing a truck that has got his suspension a little more dialed in. He's actually having an easier job of it.
No question. He's got to beat 52.67 seconds, and at this rate, he's not going to have any problem at all.
And he's not afraid to put his foot in it. He's gassing it around that track.
Oh, look at that. Completely off the ground. Air under every wheel. The AMPM boss, Jim Reese, doing the driving, and look at the crowd. They love him.
Air under every wheel. There's only a couple pounds in each tire. That always fascinated me.
That's right. Let's look back in slow motion. 32.23 seconds, about 20-some seconds faster than the first machine out here over the cars. The modern-day Outlaw. And there's Jim Reese reacting, taking the accolades of the crowd. The best time so far. Now to the Crimson Krusher. Dale Hancock, 29 years old, of Evansville, Indiana. Airbag suspension, full tilt steel body, planetary axles.
Now, he actually clamps those wheels together and transport each of those wheels as separate.
The only 8-wheel monster truck that I know of. Let's see what he can do. He has got to beat the run of the AMPM Boss, 32.23 seconds. Crimson Krusher. Whoops, slowing down there, Margot.
He can't afford to get lazy or be slow.
Nope, he can't afford to make a mistake, I'll tell you. Now, coming around to the cars. Again, they've been flattened quite a bit. Look at the 4-wheel steering. There's a beautiful shot of it. Good camera work by our crew here at Tucson. Steve Cannon, the producer here tonight. And there you go for the Crimson Krusher. Let's check the clocks for him. Slow motion. 38.19 seconds, not quite fast enough. No lack of hair on this guy. He gets up and goes for it. There's a close-up look at Dale Hancock. And here's what the people came out for, Margot. Let's talk about the Virginia Beach Beast.
A 1977 Chevy Blazer and an 18-ton M4 tank. Pretty weird, huh?
It's very weird, but the crowd loves it. Look at this. Look at this guy. He came, he saw, he conquers. Looks like Patton going through France into Germany.
2 Predator carburetors speed this fully blown, supercharged 454 Chevy motor.
Look at the crowd. They're just going crazy. He comes up and through it.
And don't check under the hood because the motor's not there. It's riding in the back seat.
Essentially a mid-engine tank. Up and over and down and outweighs the other trucks by several thousand pounds. Look at that. He knows he has done well. The crowd, look at, they've gone crazy. And look at Mike Katz. He is waving. He loves it here. Slow motion, 31.03 seconds for the Virginia Beach Beast.
Really a perfect run.
Unbelievable. Don't go away. We'll be right back to Tucson.
Stand by to witness the most awesome display of raw power on Earth. 15,000 pounds of fire and steel leap into the air and crush their way to glory in the ultimate battle of the monster trucks. ESPN and TNT Motorsports presents Turning the Power On. Video excitement as close as your telephone. Feel the thunder. Hear the deafening power of America's ultimate muscle sport, truck and tractor pulling. You've got a front row seat for the thrill of the monsters. Modified Superstock, modified 4-wheel, super modified 2-wheel drive, TNT Stomper Chevy, Jim Lyons, Ken Lamont, and the Wild 2-wheelers. The Banter Brothers multi-engine pulling beast, and featuring the ultimate Renegade Monster Truck Challenge. Turning the power on. Now on video for only $19.95. Only through this TV offer. Order now and get a video bonus. The hilarious crazy car bloopers, upended monsters, collisions, exploding engines, and more on Turning the Power On. You can't have a better time for under $20.
Larry Huffman and Margot King back at the U.S. Hot Rod Association Battle of the Monster Trucks, Tucson Community Center. And this is the AM/PM Boss coming out one more time. Jim Reese doing the driving, have the second best time of the night. And here's the run up in the air. Bouncing, hitting that ground. That's an awful lot of weight to slam into the ground without cracking it. The floor here at Tucson. He's serious. Look at this guy go, Margot. Up and around and spinning around the dirt. Skip the clocking. Up and over.
And those 20 shocks definitely getting put to work.
Boy, they do, don't they? Big Chevrolet, and the crowd is responding to this guy. They like him. Jim Reese, AM/PM Boss.
The crowd is warm to this truck. What do you think it is? Is it the color scheme? They really like him.
Oh, he's fast. He's real fast out of 28.20 seconds. That's incredible. That's faster than the Virginia Beach Beast. We could have an upset here tonight, Margot. That is the best time of the night.
Well, you don't want to get Mike Katz's dander up.
No question about that. Taking a look at it, here it is again, up in the air. The second jump for the boss, the AM/PM boss. This is the Crimson Krusher. Dale Hancock coming out to do battle now. Looked awfully good earlier.
Has had good runs, but just isn't explosive like the boss.
No, and I don't think he's got the experience. I think that might be one of the problems. Those 8 tires, I don't know, they bother me. They don't seem to be giving him much of an advantage. He comes up and over. The best time he's got to beat is 28.20 seconds.
They definitely keep his truck heavier, keeps his front end lower as he's going over the jumps, which in a lot of strategies keeps the power to the ground and should give you a better time. But he's not getting out of his turns quick enough. Got out of that turn pretty good, though.
Beautiful.
No,
he slows down. I don't know what the problem is.
Turn great, but can't get out of it.
It's got to be 28.20. Slowing down, that's going to cost him a little bit. Comes back around. The crowd loves, and they love, I think, the paint scheme, too. It's a beautiful paint job on that pickup. Look at the cars. My goodness, it looks like an earthquake in Russia. The Crimson Krusher, 33.82 seconds. Not quite fast enough. Not that good. Just got the word that the modern-day Outlaw cannot get his vehicle restarted, so he'll not be able to compete tonight in this round of competition. There's a look back in slow motion for the Crimson Krusher. And a close-up look at Dale Hancock. And he's mighty happy. Okay, coming up now, the AM/PM boss had fastest time going to the finals. And the lovely Meredith should not be disappointed at all with Jim Reese's performance. This guy is serious, Margot. He really is. He's good.
Well, he literally makes his living through monster trucks by not only driving them, like I said earlier, he's building them, so he's totally immersed into his industry.
Okay, AM/PM boss Jim Reese, the driver and the builder. On the line is set fastest time, and we're going for it now. Whoa! Look out, mama! Best time of the night, 28.20. Let's see if he can do it better right now, if he can better it. This guy is holding on for dear life. Going through those cars like they were whipped cream. He's going for it. Look at him. Hits the ground and bounces. The kids are just going crazy here in the crowd.
Every one of them a monster truck expert.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no question about it. The announcer extolling the crowd. Let's bring the driver out. Let's cheer him on, Jim Reese. And there is Reese answering to him, waving to the crowd. They love him here in Tucson.
I think tonight we've really seen on a tight track where driving experience has really made the difference.
Let's take a look back in slow motion at Reese's performance. 28.92 seconds. Not quite as fast as earlier, but still mighty good. There it is, another look at him. Look at that. My goodness, and slamming down to the ground. And now, Virginia Beach Beast Michael Katz.
And he loves the challenge.
Well,
he knows
does,
the bosses run really well, and he'll take out all the stops to go after him.
Has got to beat 28.20. That's the time to beat for the Virginia Beach Beast, and there's a lot of pride on the line here, Margot. This guy is a tank truck driver or a tank driver, and he wants to beat the monster trucks.
And basically, the tank trucks are feared by those monster truck guys. They don't like to run against them.
No question about it.
And that perfect turn is one reason why.
Yep. No steering wheel net. You've driven this machine
That's
before.
right. We're talking levers here, one in each hand.
And that's what controls the treads and turns it.
And I think Mike was grinning.
Whoa, almost up against the wall. He's serious. And I think we might have a new record here tonight at Tucson. Yes, I believe we do. 27:58. Let's go to Margot King on the floor with second place Jim Reese.
From Santa Barbara, California, Jim Reese drove the boss within a fraction of a second of beating out the Virginia Beach Beast in the final. One of the few monster trucks to even get that close. Do you think there was anything you could have done differently in your run? Let's take a look.
Well, I thought I had a real smooth run, but I had a little bit of trouble in the first corner. Maybe we'll get it here. We have a lot of trouble when I came off the cars right there. You can see I was hopping around a little bit, and it just took me some time to get control of the vehicle. But from there on, I had a pretty smooth run. Right down here on the straightaway, I was able to catch a lot of speed. So I thought coming into that second corner, I'd be able to make up a lot of time. That was a pretty smooth corner. This is going towards the finish line. I thought I got a real good jump here. Yeah, right there. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I saw a few cameras snap a picture of that one. He brought the crowd to their feet in Tucson, and all the children in the corners running for their lives as he sprayed the roost as he made the turns. Mike Katz, you made an incredible run here in Tucson tonight. What made you a winner tonight? Let's take a look at the replay.
Well, hitting the cars, I made it over those pretty good. Not a whole lot of air, so you lose time in the air. And then the corners, I didn't slide. They had enough dirt on the track that I was be able to put power all the way through the turns.
Yeah, everybody in the stands noticed that. They were running for their lives, saving their drinks.
Well, the straightaways, they overpower me, so I lose a little bit of time against them there. But in the corners, you can see I can go much faster than they can.
Kicking up the dust there. Smile on your face. Are you having a good time?
I love every time I drive over the cars.
Thank you, Marco King. Good interview. Great monster truck competition. And coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, a tribute to this year's top mud bog racers. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
The world's ultimate competition. The true story of a contest so deadly it must be held in total secrecy. Martial arts sensation Jean-Claude Van Damme fights to be world champion in Bloodsport. Now in video stores everywhere.
Your all to all you do. Don't settle for less from your shampoo. Wash and go First Plus.
To get great looking hair, you don't need separate shampoo and conditioner. Get it together. In just one step, get your hair clean, more manageable.
There's one that does the work of two.
For control you can't get from shampoo alone.
Wash and go.
Shampoo plus conditioner in one.
First Plus.
Have you ever seen those commercials where one battery outlasts the rest? We'd just like you to know Energizer batteries were never invited to their playoffs. A word to the wise, Energize.
Christmas Day, NFL Films presents the NFL's greatest hits, fantastic finishes, and fabulous football folly.
Joy to the world.
A gift on Christmas Day from ESPN.
Let's go down to runner-up world champion Mike Fair and look at his career.
Keep it up if you can, 'cause it's time to jam with the mudball maniacs. Maniacs! If you're not strong, then you won't belong with the mudball maniacs. Maniacs! Suicide running, you better beware. A bug of the soul and it don't care. Baby, you better hope and pray. The bug will take you away. Playing games with the ball. They're just dirty little hogs of the mudball maniacs. Maniacs! Dirty little boys playing with their toys at the mudball maniacs.
That was Mike Fair, the runner-up world champion. And this is the new world champion, Tom Martin and the Mud Patrol. From Indiana, let's take a look back at how his season has gone.
doing better than that, boy.
And that's it from the Tucson Community Center. I'm Larry Huffman. For Steve Cannon, our producer, my colleague Margot King, the beautiful Cindy Landis, our invaluable statistician.
Truck and tractor pulling. That's because many